True Sports episode 67 is live on multiple social media platforms. I'm Taylor Phillips along with Louis Tenor. We are recapping the NBA draft. The Spurs got their guy, Victor Wembanyama.
No surprise.
Yeah, and uh, most ESPN analysts think that Victor Wembanyama will help the Spurs win the NBA title.
Let's not get too carried away now. I mean, he's a rookie. Yes, he's a sensation from France, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to transfer over oh well when he gets here to the U.S. And they wanted to wait till the start of preseason or the NBA regular season because he's going to start in the summer leagues, first in California, then in Vegas. Then he'll work his way up to the preseason. The thing is, I think it's overhyped. We don't know how he's going to do. And the Spurs are, I think, at least about 4 or 5 years away from an NBA championship. So while that's wishful thinking, I would say 95%, I got 3 words for you. Not going to happen. Well, not this season anyway.
Takes an entire team, not just one, two, or three
Exactly.
players.
Right. Skill, talent, and chemistry is what wins a championship. Not how much you're going to pay the guy, not how much you hype up one person. It doesn't add up.
I know. And teamwork too. Most
Exactly. Well, that's
importantly.
part of
Yep.
the chemistry.
Yep. Chemistry equals teamwork. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So, thoughts on the rest of the draft?
Mr. Draft, well, I'm just disappointed that my Knicks didn't get a draft pick in the first round, so that was kind of like a down on my side. The Nets did get 2 picks back to back, which could help because they need to get past the first round of the playoffs, and hopefully with these additions, uh, they're going to make it. They haven't been able to get past the first round in quite some time, and I'm looking hoping for a change for that. The top three went along as just as I expected, but I heard everything else was it didn't go as well as as it had hoped for. But I'm looking over the well here some of them even got from the G League. This guy Scoot Henderson, he came over from the G League, which is the next step up, from what used to be the CBA, not the collective bargaining agreement, but the old CBA, the Continental Basketball League. So that I think could be a welcome addition to some players like the Trail Blazers, and your Pistons, could use a lot of work too. But as a matter of fact, there were a pair of brothers that got drafted back to back, and one of them is going to your Pistons.
Yep.
Amazing.
Osar Thompson.
The
He
Thompson, and get this, folks, not just brothers, twin brothers,
exactly. Yep.
twin
Amin
brothers.
Thompson goes to the Houston Rockets at number 4. Osar Thompson at number 5 by the Pistons. And what I like about a couple things I like about Osar Thompson. Of
Yes,
course, he's listed as a guard, but he can play wing very well. So apparently, both guard and forward. And
right.
not only
And forward.
that, not only can he score, he can defend as well. So can uh, Marcus Sasser. Um,
Yes,
hang on a second. Where was he from, by the way? I can't. I still. I did. I still
Sasser. You
didn't.
said right.
Yeah, Marcus Sasser.
Okay, Marcus Sasser.
He's
Okay,
from Houston.
he
The
is. He is from Houston. Yes, he's a point guard.
Houston Cougars.
Right.
Houston University Cougars. So,
He is going to Memphis.
yep, he is.
Yes. I kind of feel sorry there for one guy who's got an obvious name that oh boy. I mean, because you can hear the jokes coming right from this, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through tomorrow's show without saying it because this is gonna be humiliating for me. Uh, just let me find the right pick here. Oh yeah, number 13 from the Kansas. He's a shooting guard. His name is ready Grady Dick. Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. This is gonna be fun tomorrow. I'm gonna get laughed at no matter what. Ugh. Okay. But overall, the draft wasn't too bad. But I'm just bummed out that the Knicks get anything. But hopefully the Nets with their draft picks, is gonna bolster them up. Unfortunately, it was on the low side for the first round. At picks number 21 and 22. Although Whitehead, I like Whitehead when we play at Duke, so that's a plus for us. So I'm not too bad about that. Clowney from Alabama. Okay, Alabama had a decent season, but Alabama is not really a powerhouse basketball program either. That's football country.
Right.
Yeah.
So, uh,
And Hawkins from UConn. Okay, that's gonna be something. I mean, you're coming off a championship team. Now let's see what you can do in the NBA. UConn.
yep. Don't forget the second round of the NBA draft. Uh,
Yeah, I had trouble finding that time. I was looking for it on ESPN. I couldn't find it.
it's got the second round is listed, on the NBA mobile app. By the
Oh,
way,
no wonder.
yeah.
I was looking
Also
for it.
to look it up on NBA.com.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I like I
the
like some of
Pistons
these picks
haven't.
here. Yeah.
The Pistons still have not traded overall pick number 31 center James Nagy from Barcelona, Spain, um,
Yeah.
Nigeria, in Niger from Nigeria originally, to the Boston Celtics yet. Pistons got their Marcus Sasser guy from the Memphis Grizzlies, and then to the Celtics, and then to the Pistons.
Wow. Where it gets
So,
around. Yeah.
so, so yeah, that's how it goes. That's how it went. So
Yeah.
it was a
And I'm
proposed
noticing a lot.
trade. It was a proposed trade um, from sending Najee from Detroit to Boston and then to Charlotte.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else before we get your report started?
And I'm noticing a lot of other players from outside the U.S. and Canada. There's one from Siberia, Trishan Volkovic. He's a power forward. Sidney Casco, also from France. Another one from France. It seems like France is becoming a hotspot for foreign players to come to the NBA in recent years. I mean, I think Tony Parker paid the way for this. He might have.
You- Yeah, that from the San Antonio Spurs could
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
Yes, and Mobe King from New Zealand to the Lakers. So there's a good number of foreign players that are coming over here. So let's see how they can, adapt to the U.S. because that's always been a big concern. Like, because you got to play a different style from what you're used to. I mean, European basketball, Asian basketball, it's different from what we play here in the U.S. So I'm wondering how they're all going to adapt. That's always been my biggest concern when players from the far lands come over here to play. I mean, yeah, someone can surprise you and do great. Tony Parker from France. Kobe Bryant, though, even though he was born in the U.S., played in Europe before coming here. And then you guys got who, of course, from the Sixers, who has become a major bust. Ugh.
All right.
Yeah, okay, so I'll get on with the reports here, and away we go. All right. Well, we got some games of progress for the MLB on a Friday night. Right now, the Mariners are having an easy time with the Oilers, 6-0. Due up are France, Hernandez, and Raleigh going into the top of the seventh. That is. The Red Sox are leading the White Sox in the bottom of the ninth. One out, nobody on. Jansen is pitching, and Andreas is at bat. In the bottom of the sixth, the Angels lead the Rockies 4-2, but there are runners on second and third with nobody out. Webb is pitching and Doyle is at bat. So keep your eye on this one, folks. Going into the bottom of the fourth, the Padres lead the Nationals 1-0 with two out, nobody on. Corbin is pitching and Bogarts is at bat. Bottom of the second, Dodgers lead the Astros 1-0. Runners on first and second with one out. France is pitching and Bush is at bat. That's Bush, Busch, not Bush. just to clarify. And the last game in progress, the D-backs and the Giants are scoreless in the top of the second. Webb is pitching. Thomas is at bat with 2 on and nobody out. All the rest are final. If you like baseball shootouts, we got one for you here. As the Reds now won their 12th in a row as they hold off the Braves 11-10. Young got the win. McHugh got the loss, and Diaz got the save. Rays over the Royals 11-3. Eflin got the win. Greinke got the loss, and nobody's giving on the save. Okay, fine. Twins over your Tigers 4-1. Medea got the win. Wentz got the loss, and Duran got the save. That's just one Duran, not Duran. Oh,
Usually
no.
Joey
Okay.
Wentz gets scorched, but he didn't tonight. But
Yeah.
still, his ERA is 6.72 with a 1.58 WHIP. Ah,
Yep.
there you go.
672. How do you win with a 672 ERA? Not likely you will. Okay. Pirates over the Marlins 3-1. Ortiz got the win. Pilk got the loss, and Bednar got the save. The Phillies over the Mets 5-1. Walker got the win. Senga got the loss. Mets are really struggling right now, folks. In 10 innings, the Rangers beat the Yankees 4-2. Barlow got the win. King got the loss. Smith got the save. I'm surprised they got that game in because it's been raining here all day. A's over the Blue Jays 5-4. Ingrate got the win. Romano got the loss, and May got the save. And Brewers over the Guardians 7-1. Miley got the win, and Bieber got the loss. Hopefully not Justin Bieber. Oh boy. Okay, on to the standings. I had to throw that in. Oh, my girlfriend will kill me for that one. Okay, over to the standings, and away we go. In the American League East, the Rays are still on top at 53-26, have a 5-game lead over the Orioles at 45-28, but the Orioles actually have a better road record than the Rays. How about that? The Yankees are 10.5 back at 41-35. The Blue Jays 41-36, 11 back, and the Red Sox 39-37, 12.5 back. So at least the American League East is the strongest division in baseball. Now, on the flip side of that, the Comedy Central of the AL Central, the Twins are the only team above 500 at 39-38. The Guardians 35-39, 2 back. The Tigers 32-42, 5.5 back. I don't see how. 5.5 back. White Sox 32-44, 6.5 back, and the Royals 21-55, 17.5 back. Pathetic. All right, the West. Rangers 47-28, a 6-game lead with the Astros 41-34. Good. Angels 41-35, 6.5 back. The Mariners 36-37, 10 back, and bringing up the rear as usual. The A's at 20-58. 28.5 back. Can you imagine that? It's a week to July, and they only won 20 games. I don't think I've ever seen a team this bad. To the National League side, Braves 48-37 have a 6-game lead over the Marlins at 43-34. Phillies looking respectable, even though 9 back at 39-36, but still respectable. Mets are a sinking ship at 34-41, 14 back, and the Nationals 28-46, 19.5 back.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz is no longer becoming an excuse for them, for the Mets.
Exactly. Big surprise in the Central. The Reds, who have now won 12 in a row, are 41-35 and lead the Brewers by a game and a half. They're 39-36. Cubs making progress. 4 back at 36-38, but it's still respectable. Pirates are 35-40, 5.5 back, and the Cardinals, 31-44, 9.5 back. They need work. Over to the West, the D-backs are 46-30, 3.5 ahead of the Giants, 42-33. The Dodgers, 41-33, 4 back. The Padres, 36-39, 9.5 back, and the Rockies, 29-48, 17.5 back. All right, let's check tomorrow's schedule. And it goes like this. Starting off in the afternoon. There we go. Oh, actually, we're going to start off. Wait, is tomorrow one of those? No. Okay, but it's going to be the Cubs and The Cardinals 110 on Fox. I think that's one of those London games. So that's why it's the early start. Okay. At 4:05, the D-backs take on the Giants. Other 4:05 games are the Mets and the Phillies, the Mariners at the Orioles, the Rangers at the Yankees. 4:07, A's versus the Blue Jays. Your 4:10 slate. Okay, listen to these guys. Braves take on the Reds. The Red Sox take on the White Sox. The Royals take on the Rays. The Brewers take on the Guardians. And the Pirates take on the Marlins. 7:15, Astros take on the Dodgers. The Twins take on your Tigers. 8:40, the Nationals take on the Padres. And at 9:10, the Angels take on the Rockies. Okay. And we had some other news as well. Because in addition to that, I don't know if anybody pays attention to soccer outside the World Cup, but we do have a soccer match tomorrow, and it involves Team USA. So I want to get that straightened out as the Gold Cup tournament begins tomorrow. And so we go that as the US will take on Jamaica in the Gold Cup. That is a 9:30 start tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. If you have Fox Sports 1, good, because I'm gonna take care of that. Okay, MLS tomorrow, as I think every team is playing. Charlotte takes on Montreal. Columbus takes on Nashville. These are 7:30 games. Also, DC and Cincinnati. New England at Toronto. My Red Bulls against Atlanta. And Philadelphia takes on Miami. I think some of these are out of order, but 9:30 is Austin and Houston. 8:30 is Kansas City and Chicago. Okay, I don't know how that worked out. Also, 9:30 are Colorado and the LA Galaxy, Salt Lake and Minnesota. Your late games, all at 10:30, are the LAFC against Vancouver, Portland versus NYFC out west, San Jose versus St. Louis, and Seattle takes on Orlando. All games at 10:30. So New York also has a late game too. Yeah, well. And we have a WNBA game here right now, as the Liberty beat up on the Atlanta Dream 110-80, or should I say, gave the Dream a nightmare. And the Dallas Wings are beating up on the LA Sparks 40-28, with 134 to go in the second quarter. They play 4 quarters now, people, not 2 halves anymore. And also, USFL begins their playoffs tomorrow. Yes, they have playoffs as well, and well, at least they made it through another year. At least they made it through another year with that. So in their second year in the revival of the league, and tomorrow's game will be, I believe, it's just 2 games on the schedule. But on second thought, oh yeah, we'll have Michigan and Pittsburgh. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock on NBC, and Sunday, New Orleans will take on Birmingham. And the winner of that will meet on July 1st in the second USFL championship. I was going to say Super Bowl, but that's insulting. All right, so on to news items of the day. And I'll begin. Yeah, okay. A bit of history was made last night at the draft, as the Thompson brothers, Amen and Asnar, were selected back to back. The Houston Rockets selected Amen at 4th, and the Pistons selected Asnar at 5th. They become the first pair of brothers to be selected in the top 5 since the NBA and ABA merged in 1976. The Thompson brothers joined the Ball brothers, Lonzo and LaMelo, to both go in the top 5 in the same draft in the modern era. And did I forget to mention, guys, they're twin brothers. The Thompson twins both star for the City Reapers of the Overtime Elite League and won their OTE League titles. Amen will join a Rockets team that finished 22-60 this year, was 27th in offense and 29th in defense. Brother Austin Arnold joined a Pistons team that was 17-65 this season, and the Pistons have now gone 15 straight seasons without a playoff victory, which is a dubious, disturbing record. The Pistons also selected Jaden Ivey with the 5th pick in 2022 and Cade Cunningham first overall in 2021, and recently hired Monty Williams as their new head coach after being fired by the Suns not that long ago. Oh well. Speaking of the Bulls, they're entering the offseason with the expectation that guard Alonzo Ball will not be returning next season, said by their team vice president. Ball missed all of 2022 and 23 as he underwent cartilage transplant surgery on his left knee in March. The third surgery on his knee since he appeared in his last game, which was January 14th of 2022. The expectation is that he will not be returning for the upcoming season. He will continue his recovery. If he is able to return, that would be great, but we're going to treat this offseason and get ready for the season that he is not going to be returning. The Bulls said the Ball's most recent surgery gave him his best chance of resuming his career at some point in the near future, but his progress has been slow since he first sustained the injury in January of 2022. Ball played his last game on January 14th of that year. 1 month later, he had surgery to repair a torn meniscus in his left knee. The Bulls said he would return in 6 to 8 weeks' time. Obviously, it didn't happen. After missing the rest of the season and continuing with pain and discomfort over the summer, Ball had a second surgery done in September. However, the discomfort in his knee never improved well enough for him to return to the court. Ball signed a 4-year, $80 million deal in 2021. During his brief time on the court, Ball was a perfect match alongside Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game before the injury occurred. Tough break. Oh, and one other right here. The College World Series begins tomorrow night. Number 2, Florida takes on number 5, LSU in the best of 3 series. And I predicted LSU to go to the World Series after everybody was saying they don't have a chance. Well, guess what, guys? I was right. Okay. Over to hockey. The Devils added former Vancouver Canucks coach Travis Green to Lindy Ruff's staff. General Manager Tom Fitzgerald announced the decision yesterday, filling the void when Andrew Burnett was hired as head coach of the Predators last month. Travis has a wealth of experience from his time in the junior ranks and AHL leagues, said Ruff, who led the Devils to the second round of the playoffs before losing to Carolina. He was excited about joining our team. I know his attention to deal with in the game will have a positive impact. We'll see. Green had a record of 133, 147, 34 with the Canucks after taking over Willie DeGendris after the 2016-17 season. He took the Canucks to the playoffs in 2020, but was fired in the 21-22 season. Before the NHL, Green coached in the AHL with at least 35 games or more in 4 seasons for Utica. He served as interim coach for Portland and won a WHL title in 2012 and 2012-2013 season. As a player, Green was selected second in the 1989 draft, scoring 193 goals and 262 assists in 970 games spanning from 92 to 2007, and played for the Islanders, Bruins, Coyotes, as well. Yeah, the Islanders, Brewers, and Coyotes, and was even a teammate of Fitzgerald on 3 different teams. Interesting. So, as we expected, Victor Wembanyama was selected first in the NBA draft. Okay, no surprise there. The star phenom from France walked across the stage last night and shook the hand of Commissioner Silver. Adam Silver, that is. Wembanyama said he could not begin to describe the feeling as he told reporters after being selected first that this had to be the best night of my life. He said, and my dream has come true. The Spurs used all 5 minutes they had on the clock And Wembanyama said it was the longest 5 minutes of my life. I'm sure a lot of draft hopefuls feel the same way. They probably do. Wembanyama is considered to be a once-in-a-generation talent who can defend and play above the rim, but move with such fluidity. He can also step back, use step back 3-pointers on just one leg. He can probably do it blindfolded too. Over in San Antonio, fans were absolutely nuts as his name was shown up on the AT&T Center, where it was shown up on the video boards. Fans will have to wait long to see him make his NBA debut as he will play in the California Summer Classic, which begins on July 3rd in Sacramento before heading to Summer League play on July 7th, which is in Vegas. The official Summer League, that is. I'm going to read over some of the list for the top 10. Hornets select Brandon Miller from Alabama. Blazers select Scoot Henderson from the G League Ignite. Rockets select Amen Thompson from Overtime Elite. And Pistons select Asnar Thompson, also from Overtime Elite. Magic pick Anthony Black from Arkansas. Pacers select Bai Kobali of France. Wizards select Jarris Walker from Houston. The Jazz select Taylor Hendricks from Central Florida. And the Mavericks select Cason Williams from Kentucky. So it's a pretty good top 10 list. Unfortunately for me, my team doesn't show up till the 22nd, the 21st, and 22nd picks, with Noah Clowney from Alabama and Dirk Whitehead from Duke. Well, at least he's from Duke, so that was a good try. The Wizards continue their dramatic reshaping of their roster under new president of basketball operations, Michael Wagner, today by expanding the blockbuster trade of Bradley Beal to send Chris Paul to the Warriors in exchange for Jordan Poole. Source to ESPN. The Wizards are also receiving a protected 2030 first round pick and a 2027 second round pick in the deal, according to sources. Looking forward to the future. Yeah. Moving on. Okay. The NBA has informed its teams yesterday that's updated the salary cap projections for the upcoming season. In a memo sent to every team, the league said the cap is expected to be 136 million, and the luxury tax is projected at 165 million, higher by 2 or 3 million respectively than initial projections set in September before the season began. The league stressed that both numbers are still just projections, and the final figures won't be determined until the new league year begins next week. Under the new CBA, the Player Association that begins this season, the cap will rise to a max of 10% per season. After leading UConn to a national basketball title in April, head coach Dan Hurley has agreed to a new 6-year deal with the university. The announcement was made yesterday. Sources told ESPN that the deal guarantees Hurley $33 million, putting him as one of the highest paid coaches in men's college basketball. The contract runs to the end of the 28-29 season with incentives for academic and athletic success that could push the value of the deal even higher than that. Hurley, who helped deliver reputation at Wagner and Rhode Island and UConn, restructured a program that had fallen off a cliff. After reestablishing UConn as a Big East power, re-entering into the conference in 2020, Hurley delivered the Huskies a 5th national championship over San Diego back in April. In 5 seasons, Hurley has a record of 104 and 55 and has reached the tournament 3 straight seasons. He is 255 and 163 in 13 Division I seasons after finishing up 9 seasons at St. Bernard's Prep in Newark, New Jersey, it is. Hurley has basketball in his blood. Bob Hurley is a Naismith Hall of Famer, and older brother Bob Jr. coaches at Arizona State University. All right, as we know that the Celtics, Warriors, and Grizzlies agreed to a 3-team trade deal back on Wednesday that sends Kristaps Porzingis, the Celtics, Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies, and Tyus Jones to the Wizards. As part of the deal, Memphis is sending Boston's first-round pick in the draft of the 25th overall selection, and the Warriors' top 4 projected first-round picks in 2024, while the Celtics are sending their 35th pick to the Wizards. The Celtics are also sending forward Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala to Washington as part of the deal, according to sources. The deal just became for the stroke of midnight for Porzingis to opt into his $36 million deal for 2023-24. With the deal now completed, Porzingis opted in. He had the best season of his career with the Wizards, averaging 23.2 points per game, along with 8.4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.4 blocks. And when you were with the Knicks, you didn't do anything. He was selected 4th by the Knicks in 2015 and played his first full season with the Wizards. Traded for him at the 2022 trade deadline, sending Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Barnes to the Mavericks. Yeah, can do anything for the Knicks. Chris Middleton has declined his $40 million option with the Bucks to become a free agent. Wow. A return to the Bucks, a new deal is still possible, but highly unlikely. Injuries have been a factor for Middleton since the 2022 playoffs, as he missed the Bucks' final 10 playoff games with the sprained MCL. Okay, that could hurt. He underwent left wrist surgery during the last year's offseason, which sidelined him for the first 20 games of the 2022-23 season. He returned on December 2nd, played 6 to 7 games before missing the next 18 with right knee soreness. Middleton underwent successful knee surgery after the Bucks' stunning first-round upset to the Miami Heat.
Oof.
Middleton has been with the Bucks now for a decade. He transitioned from role player to 3-time All-Star and was a key player in leading the Bucks to their first championship in 2021, their first since 1971. And I was only a year old back then. Well, it was an interesting Hall of Fame induction class. It was the year of the goaltender. Net Myers, Henrik Lundqvist of the Rangers, Tom Barrasso, and Mike Vernon were all selected to the Hockey Hall of Fame that was announced on Wednesday night. They joined Pierre Turgeon and women's hockey player Caroline Ouellet and coach Ken Hitchcock and the late Pierre Lacroix, who won 2 Stanley Cups for the Colorado Avalanche in 1996 and 2001. I remember them both. Lundqvist made Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility and has 6 in career wins with 459 and 9th in games played at 8. Has 459 games played and a career save percentage of 9.18. Lundqvist won the Vezina Trophy in the 2011-2012 season as the league's top goaltender and was a finalist for the Hart Trophy as league MVP that season. What put Lundqvist over the top was his international success as he led Sweden to gold at the 2026 Winter Games in Toronto, Italy, and won silver at the 2014 Winter Olympics, and won gold at the World Championships of 2017 and bronze at the World Cup of Hockey in 2016. He played his entire career with the Rangers. He did sign a 5-year deal with the Caps in 2020, but his career ended before the season began as a result of a heart condition. I remember that too, yeah. Barrasso has been eligible since 2006. He won back-to-back cups with the Penguins in 91-92. He was Rookie of the Year in the 83-84 season and won the Vezina Trophy as the league's top goaltender with the Sabres and has 369 wins in his career. Vernon has been eligible since 2005. He has led 2 teams to the Stanley Cup titles, one with the Flames in 1989, which I forgot about, and the Red Wings in 1997, which I do remember. That was their first title since 1955. Vernon also won the Conn Smythe Trophy that season as playoff MVP. He has 385 wins in his career. Turgeon has been eligible since 2010, played 1,294 games for 6 different teams, but mostly known with the Sabres and Blues, and has 515 goals. He never won a Stanley Cup or international medal, but did win the Lady Byng Trophy for sportsmanship in the 92-93 season. So that deserves recognition as well. All right. Okay. And Venus Williams will make her 24th appearance at Wimbledon next month as a wild card entry. Venus, a 5-time Wimbledon singles champion, was a finalist at the grass court major back in 2017, 20 years after she made her debut at the All England Club. Now ranked 697 in the world, which is a shocker. She beat Camila Goria at the Birmingham Classic on Monday, which was her first victory against a top 50 player in 4 years, ending her 12-match losing streak. How do you fall away at 697? Wow. The 7-time Grand Slam champion will now face Jalen Ostapenko at a Wimbledon warm-up match. Younger sister Serena, also a 7-time Grand Slam champion, lost in the first round of last year's tournament, soon announcing her decision to step away from the game. Still, I mean, she was so great, and wow, 697 now on the rankings. Kyle Kuzma declined his $3 million option and became a free agent back on Tuesday. Kuzma is expected to be one of the most predominant players in free agency after averaging 21.2 points per game and 7.2 rebounds. He told reporters back in April he was considering returning to Washington, his home since 2021-22, after spending 4 seasons with the Lakers that also included a title in 2020. It's 100% option. I had a great time here in Washington. I developed my game here, and there's good people here. I would be the fool to say it's not an option here. However, things have changed at the end of last season. General manager Tommy Shepard was let go, and the franchise hired former Clippers GM Michael Winger to be president of the Monumental Sports and reshape the organization. The deal also sent Bradley to the Wizards. All right. Moving along. Interesting development here. Reds rookie Eli De La Cruz became the youngest player in the majors to hit for the cycle in 51 years. That was tonight's game against the Braves. De La Cruz hit the cycle when he crushed a 6th-inning triple that scored his teammate Jonathan Indiana, giving the Reds an 11-7 lead. He is the youngest player to hit the cycle since Cesar Ciendo back in 1972. De La Cruz is also the 3rd player to hit for the cycle in his first 15 games as a player, dating back all the way back to 1901. The last Reds player to hit for the cycle was Eric Davis in 1989, the year I graduated high school. Wow. I am old. Brewers reliever Matt Rush was activated from the injured list after missing the last 2 months with a rotator cuff injury. The Brewers activated the right-hander before starting a 3-game series against the Guardians, formerly, the Guardians, now known. Brewers would fill the roster spot left by Trevor McGill, who was optioned for AAA Nashville. Bush opened the season as Brewers' main step closer to Devin Williams, but posted an 0-1 record with an ERA of 8.22 in 9 appearances before heading to the injured list on April 24th. Yeah. The Brewers acquired Bush at last year's trade deadline. Bush was 2-1 with an ERA of 2.95 and 40 appearances for the Rangers, but is 0-2 with a 4-point ERA in 25 games last season for the Brewers. Yeah. Guardians. What a name. Twins right-hander pitcher Kenda Matea was reinstated from the 15-day injured list to start tonight's games against the Tigers. Now, this is pathetic. He's 0-4 with an ERA of 9.00. Now, that's pathetic. He's been sidelined with the right tricep strain since he left on April 26th, as he surrendered 10 runs in 3+ innings against the Yankees. Well, at least against the Yankees. He made 4 minor league appearances. His most recent was June 16th. He pitched 4.5 innings for AAA St. Paul, giving up 1 run on 2 hits, but he did give up 4 walks and a total of 81 pitches. He did miss all of last season after going Tommy John surgery. His last victory came in August of 2021 versus the Rays. He has a respectable record, 59-45, with an ERA of 3.98 in 173 games with 139 starts with the Dodgers and the Twins. So overall, not bad. Okay. Mariners outfielder Julio Rodriguez has committed himself to playing in this year's Home Run Derby that will take place in the home city of Seattle. He made the announcement earlier today on social media and became the first player to announce that he will play in this year's event. J-Rod, as he's known, stunned the crowd last year's Home Run Derby as he finished second to Juan Soto. Rodriguez went on to sign a lucrative contract extension that led the Mariners to their first postseason in over 20 years and won the AL Rookie of the Year. Home Run Derby will be played on July 10th in Seattle. The Bills announced today they signed the Bills today announced contract extensions for general manager Brandon Beane and coach Sean McDermott through 2027. This will be the duo's 7th season together, which the Bills have made the playoffs 4 straight years and won 3 AFC division titles, East division titles, that is. Since being hired in 2017, Beane has overseen the construction of the AFC powerhouse, highlighted by signing quarterback Josh Allen in 2018 and wide receiver Stephon Diggs in 2020. Well, did something right. To go on for this, other key players that Beane has drafted include cornerback Tree Davius White, left tackle Deion Hawkins, and linebacker Matt Milano, and tight end Dawson Knox. Beane has earned Executive of the Year honors from Sporting News, the Pro Football Writers of America, and Pro Football Focus. As head coach of the Bills, McDermott led the team to a 62-35 regular season record, but his postseason record was less than spectacular at 4-5. He is third in franchise victories, trailing only trailing the leader Marv Levy with 123 victories, and Saban with 70. The Bills have won 10 games per season since 2019. Only the Chiefs have won more in that span. McDermott has led the Bills to the AFC title game in 2020. The Bills also made the playoffs in his first season, ending their 17-year playoff drought. Oof. Now, for you Commanders fans out there, okay, here's the news for you. The NFL is scheduled a meeting next month with the league owners to vote on the sale of the Washington Commanders to a group led by Josh Harris, a source confirmed to ESPN this morning. The NFL sent a memo to the owners that a meeting would take place on July 20th to discuss the sale of the Commanders from Dan and Tanya Snyder to the Harris Group for just over $6 billion. That's right, I said $6 billion. It's likely a vote will take place based on the unanimous approval approved by the Finance Committee, according to the Washington Post, which first reported the meeting. The vote could take place in Minneapolis, where the owners met last month. The committee has not yet recommended approval. However, the fact that a special meeting took place indicates the direction of where the sale is heading. Typically, the owners adhere to the committee's recommendations. For the sale to be approved, 24 of the 32 owners must be in favor of the vote. The Commanders open training camp on July 26th. So finally, we can put this soap opera to an end. Well, that is, we hope. So as I mentioned, LSU beat the top seed Wake Forest in the College World Series last night. Head coach Jay Johnson said it was one of the greatest moments of my life. as they upset Wake Forest as they won in 11 innings last night. Tommy White hit Camden Mathis pitch to the left field seats, setting up an all SEC matchup that will take on Florida in the best of three finals first pitch. It's kind of similar to what happened with the Yankee fans with Aaron Boone 20 years ago. Johnson said, now that we're here, it's not really a surprise. This is the first team I have coached that I think can win a title. Johnson went to the final as he coached ASU in 2016, but lost to Coastal Carolina. LSU at 52-16 became the first team to hand Wake Forest back-to-back losses this season, even though they finished at 54-12. The Tigers won 5-2 Wednesday, setting up a second bracket final. Johnson said, "We slayed the dragon. It was White's 23rd home run of the season, but nothing bigger than that one." Kind of similar to when LSU won the championship in 1996. Oh, I remember that one. That's like the college version of "Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never have a big one than that." Oh no, yuck.
Oh yeah, Joe Carter. Yeah, he was a beast.
Yes, yes. Well, it was kind of reminiscent of that. So that's all right. I know I shouldn't compare notes, but you get the idea. All right, Jets fans. Well, you're gonna hate this one as well as I will. Safety Chuck Clark suffered a torn ACL in practice earlier this month, sources told ESPN. The Jets did sign veteran safety Adrian Amos to take the place of Clark. Clark was acquired in a March trade with the Ravens. The Jets had sent a 7th round 24 pick to the Ravens for the 6-year vet, one of the league's most durable players. Clark played in 96 out of 97 games ending last season that ended a streak of more than 1,200 consecutive snaps on defense dating back to 2021. The Jets had high hopes for Clark, who impressed coaches with his steady demeanor and cerebral approach. Well, we can all use that. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich said recently that the on-the-field relationship between Clark and their other safety, Jordan Whitehead, was special. Once Clark was injured, the Jets pivoted quickly to Amos, who was a free agent. He signed a 1-year deal that could be worth up to $4 million, source to ESPN. Amos played mostly his career as a free safety as a member of the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. Let's see what that's going to do. All right. You count the Reds now winning 12 straight. Oh, boy. The Cruz has been something else. How much longer? And the Rockies, when they play them on Wednesday night, had their 8th straight loss. One's on a hot streak. The other is like this. Okay. The Nationals placed center fielder Victor Robles on the 10-day injured list with back spasms for the second time this season. A day after star Mackenzie Gore questioned Robles' efforts on a fly ball that fell in for a single. I'll give the guy a break, will you? The Nationals selected the contract of outfielder Derek Hill from AAA Rochester to replace Robles on the roster. Robles was signed with back spasms from early May to last Friday. Wow. He started 5 games in his return. Manager Dave Martinez said Robles told him after the loss to the Cardinals that his lower back was bothering him as he was running. He also got a poor jump on a deep fly ball in Monday's game that bounced off for a triple. Robles skidded off the center field wall after he missed making the grab. Gore and Robles exchanged heated words in the dugout after a line drive off the bat of Cardinals rookie Jordan Walker fell in front of center field for a second inning single. Gore gave up 5 runs in 6 innings to take the loss, as the Nationals lost 5 straight at that point and are now last place in the NL East. Or in this case, for him, the NL East. Yeah. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill is under investigation on allegations of assault and battery at a Miami marina. A spokesperson for the Miami-Dade County Police Department said. According to a local TV station, Miami, Hill allegedly hit an employee during a disagreement last Sunday. Miami radio host Andy Slater reported that Hill slapped the employee in the back of the head, but the employee did not press charges at that time. Well, why not? The Dolphins released a statement to the spokesperson acknowledging the reported incident. We are aware of the situation, and we've been in contact with Tyreek and his representatives and the league, the Dolphins said. We will reserve further comments at this time. This would be Hill's second season with the Dolphins after spending the previous 6 with the Kansas City Chiefs. And for my ridiculous sign of the week, which will be on tomorrow's show, an overturned play at the plate that would have produced a winning run for the White Sox on Tuesday drew complaints from Rangers manager Bruce Bochy, said it was one of the worst calls I've ever seen. Well, it gets better here, folks. The White Sox came back with 3 runs down the 8th to beat the Rangers, with Zach Remillard sailing to Elvis Andrus with the go-ahead run on the play that was overturned after video review. Remillard had a busy week. He made his debut in Seattle on Saturday as the infielder, tied the game in the 9th and won in the 11th, but the conclusion was controversial. He tied the score in the 9th with a single off Grant Anderson that scored 2 runs in the 9th. Remillard followed with a line drive to left field. Andrus was then called out at the plate by umpire DJ Rayburn on Travis Jaworski's throw. Bucci was ejected after the call was overturned because Johan Helm was to have blocked the plate and Bucci was tossed for the 80th time in his career. That's right, 80th time. Boy, this guy's got some issues. I don't know if that's a
Jeez.
record, but that's a lot of injections. Bucci said he was dumbfounded by the call, calling it the worst he's ever seen. There was never any contact with the catcher. It was just a sweep tag. I don't get it. I'm just shocked. Johan did a great job out there. The throw took him to the left a bit. I'm a bit lost, and it's a little hard to take.
So what do you
White Sox fan,
think? Was it the right call or was it the wrong call? What do you think, Lewis, from your perspective?
I think it was the right call.
Okay.
Bochy is just, I think he's just, losing his mind. 80 games you get tossed out. I think it can go either way. I still think maybe the right call was made. If the umpire says that was it, I gotta take it. So White Sox manager Pedro Grifol said he did not see the replay. All I can say is we challenged the play at the plate and the block of the plate. If New York felt it was a violation, then likely it was. The initial catcher stepped out because of that. That was the rule. So you have to go with that. I mean, who's to say about who's right, who's wrong? That's a tough call to make, really. But you know. And finally, the Angels are unlikely to trade two-way star Show Me the Money Ohtani if they remain in playoff contention, set by general manager Perry Minasian.
I think the
He did
Angels are
not
contenders.
Yeah. He did not vow that he would trade Ohtani, who was scheduled to enter unrestricted free agency at the end of the season.
They have
However,
to buy.
The general manager underlined his stance on the issue while strongly indicating that he intends to end the Angels' postseason drought, which now stands at 8 seasons. And that includes taking a risk at losing their star player. The Angels are, at the time of this report, were 41-34 and hold on to the American League wildcard spot and trail the Texas Rangers by 5 games after trailing by 9 just 2 weeks ago. The Halos took 3 or 4 from the Rangers in Arlington last week as part of an 11-4 surge that has boosted their playoff chances for the first time in Ohtani's MLB career. Ohtani is the center of their current success as he leads the major to 24 home runs and 58 RBIs, though he was over 4 with 2 strikeouts in the loss to the Dodgers. On the mound this season, he is 6-2 with an ERA of 3.29 and 105 strikeouts. Not bad. He's all but guaranteed to make his 3rd straight All-Star game next month He is the top vote getter with 1.4 million votes than his closest competitor at DH. He is making $30 million in the final year of his deal. He has been with the Angels for 6 seasons since coming over from Japan in 2017. Yet the Angels have not made the postseason or even had a winning season during his tenure alongside Mike Trout. The trade deadline is August 1st. If the Angels don't move Ohtani, they could get a compensatory draft pick if he signs with another team as a free agent. All right, so let's go over the baseball scores that are still in progress one more time. Thank you. Okay, top of the eighth. Oh, this game should be over already. The Mariners are beating up on the Oilers, 13-1 as we go into the top of the ninth. Oh boy. Also going to the top of the ninth, the Rockies lead the Angels 7-4. Lawrence is pitching. Trout is at bat. Everyone get some Trout? By the way, Baker's now pitching and Wong is at bat in the Mariners-Oilers game. This game was good. Top seven, Padres lead the Nationals 7-1. Musgrove is pitching and Smith is at bat. And at the bottom of the fifth, Dodgers lead the Astros 3-2. France is pitching and Freeman is at bat. Oops, one more. The Giants lead the D-backs 3-2 in the top of the fifth. Webb is pitching and McCarthy is at bat. Okay, that concludes my reports for the night. I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, so we'll be back like Wednesday night, probably at 10:30 p.m. So
All right.
till then, for Lewis, I'm Taylor. This has been True Sports episode 67. Well, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Wednesday night, 10:30.
Good night, folks.